4 points for Leeds United in their bid for promotion from the Sky Bet Championship. Michael Bridges and Stuart Dallas in the studio with us. We thought there might be more goals in the second half, truth be told, but there should have been probably. But I mean, Bridges, job done, isn't it, really? And off the back of that big win at the weekend, it's a really good few days for Leeds.
Really positive performance tonight. The amount of chances created, the amount of touches inside the opposition box. I couldn't believe Coventry came out and still played. I mean, sure, we were bewildered by the high line they played second half and how we exploited it, and I'm in disbelief that it's still 2-0. I mean, it was a chances galore, and Meslier, to be fair to him, made two massive saves for us as well. So a thoroughly entertaining game, a great performance to back up a 7-0, and you think in attacking sense, once again, we were just so dynamic.
Another clean sheet as well, Stu.
Another clean sheet, and huge, as Bridgie touched on, the two saves that Elland made, and you know, he didn't have much to do other than them two, but it just showed you've got to stay focused in the big moments. And you know, his first save's absolutely incredible, and let's give him the credit he's due, because he suffered after them mistakes, that's for sure, and he came in for a lot of criticism, and you know, to pull off two saves there tonight like that is incredible. All
right, let's take a look kind of in chronological order at how this game unfolded. Both the goals, of course, coming in the first half, and started with Joel Pirro getting a third goal in the space of just a couple of games tonight down at Coventry, with a really, as you were saying, Bridgie, in the first half, when we're doing the analysis, a really tidy finish, because as much as it's a great ball through, he's got a lot of work to do here.
He has, and you know, it's said that it would play into our hands if Coventry played out from the back nice and stretched. Once we won it with a press and it went to Solomon, I love the first reaction of Solomon to play the ball into Joel Pirro, but the ball's got spin on it, it's at pace, and he manages to take a lovely touch, and then when it's out of his feet, in the form that he's in, there was no doubt he was going to find the back of the net, and it was a lovely finish, bottom corner, to get us off to, once again, a great start. And you just saw what it meant to the players running to the away fans, the travelling fans there. This is a lovely angle to show how well we win it. And then if you see where Joel Pirro is when he picks up, both centre-halves are nowhere, so he recognises the space, he exploits it, but the finish, low and hot across goal, that's what you're taught to do. So fantastic start, and that just set the tone of the game.
And Stu, with Mano Solomon, and we're seeing this in so much, and we saw it in a lot of the match tonight, he just does things very quickly, doesn't he? So, you know, if there's a moment where he can add some impetus, if he can drive forward, if he can play the pass early, he looks to do that.
He does, yeah, and that's what I said at half-time, that's the part that I loved about the goal, was that when he received the ball, his first thought was to go forward. He recognised that they had tried to play out, and as you say, Bridgie, the spaces and the gaps were there. Their centre-halves are nowhere, because their full-backs have pushed on, and the three centre-halves have split, and when Manor gets the ball, his first thought is to go forward and exploit the gaps, and it's a great finish, take nothing away from Joel. It's sort of similar to the goal he did score at the weekend, where he's
at the heart of the defence, because it literally opened up from there, and then when the little touch, he thinks the moment's gone, and Doven just absolutely has a nightmare. I saw Bogle's reaction when he saw the ball come back to him in that area. He's thinking, are you kidding me? And he's still got a lot to do. I thought he might have hit it first time. He takes another touch, and like I say, the 2-0, well on our way there. And like I say, I can't believe it's still 2 after we're seeing this first half performance and the amount of chances second half. But again, Bogle, pleased with him, because him and Firpo have played such an instrumental part in the system that Daniel Farke wants to play with his high fullbacks, because it allows the front boys to thrive with the narrow space that they get.
And Stuart, from a fullback position, there is something to be said just for the power of just driving forward.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what Jaden's really, really good at, and he's getting stronger every week, both him and Junior at doing it. As Bridgie says, the way the manager wants to play allows your fullbacks to exploit spaces. It's poor defending from Coventry, let's be honest, but Jaden, he's done so well to get into the position. It's just opened up for him, and he's kept going, and we've got a little bit of luck, but we'll take it.
We also talked before the game, didn't we, about goals coming from different areas of the pitch. Yes, your number 9 scoring a goal today, and a great goal he scored as well. But Jaden Bogle getting another one. Like we said, 9 players, over 3 goals in this team. It's one of those signs you look for with a successful team, isn't it? Amongst those, if you can spread the goals around, you know that you've got options, you've got opportunities that are going to come in all the games.
Yeah, and that's a joy. That's the attacking style that we play. And I mentioned the front 3 once again being made into a front 5 with the fullbacks. That's why they're getting on the end of things, like him, like Junior Firpo, goals and assists now that he's back in, and he gives us a much more better balance on that left-hand side. You know, we all love Sammy Byram for the job that he does, Mr. Reliable, but when you're going forward in this kind of manner, Firpo and Bogle, just the absolutely brilliant fullbacks to get up there and support the front lads. And teams are absolutely scared stiff of us at this moment in time because I hate the word XG, but I'm going to use chances created in this game once again through the roof.
Yeah, well, like you say, it was 2-0 in the end. We thought maybe it would be more than that. And I think our commentary team as well of Bryn Law and Tony Dorigo thought they might be saying the word goal a few more times this evening. But it ended 2-0 down at Coventry. Let's get the thoughts of Bryn and Tony post-match after tonight's victory.
Could have been, should have been shouting the word goal as many times this evening as we were at the weekend. Didn't quite work out, but it would be churlish to register disappointment to the fact that Leeds didn't score 7 again, because they won the game, and that's really all that matters, isn't it?
Well, it's 3 points. That is all that matters. You're right. 7-0, 1-0 really doesn't matter. But the manner of the performance, I thought, was really impressive. Defensively, we were absolutely solid. We controlled the game for just about all of it. Yes, you're right. Should have scored plenty more. Could have been done and dusted at half time. And second half, I mean, we kept looking at how we're not scoring goal after goal after goal, but the way that Coventry played again just played into our hands, and we worked the way through them and over the top of them really, really well.
And what you would say is that there was never really, there was a couple of good saves from Elland Road, one of them right at the end there. So important moments like that, but there was a degree of control that Leeds had on the game that was from first minute pretty much to last, and that hasn't always been the case in away fixtures. Maybe that's been an issue so far this season. It
has, and that's where I think the biggest improvement can be made, and we saw tonight that we certainly can do it. This is a team that won 4 on the bounce as well. Everyone was saying how difficult a game this was going to be. We lost here 2-1 last season as well. So I think we've grown certainly as a team and a squad. And tonight, I think it's a statement performance after winning 7-0. How do you back that up? It's not always easy to do that, but I thought we played very, very well.
And as we've already mentioned, maybe could have won 7-0 because the chances, the opportunities were made there tonight. It was just the finishing. It was just the question of the last bit, wasn't it?
It was, and sometimes we talk about that, the lack of that. Certainly,
shut up, Tony.
Goals in front. Okay, I'm going to be quiet, Jaden. You take over. On you go.
Much more important. Jaden, congratulations. Good win. Happy with that one?
Yeah, it was a great performance from us. Probably should have scored a few more goals, but yeah, it's a good result for us.
Now then, what you've got to do now is tell me, how on earth did you actually manage to score a goal there? Talk me through this one.
Yeah, I just started driving with it and it opened up, and then got into the box, thought I'd overrun it, and then, I don't know, just fell to me again. And then, a bit of composure just to put it away. Yeah,
so it was a mazy run into the penalty area, and then it seemed to stop, and then it started again.
Yeah, I thought I'd overrun it, and the keeper had it, and then, I don't know if it just fell back out, and slotted it in.
Certainly, on the evening tonight, you seem to have a private lane kind of running up and down there. What was going on? Were you surprised how easy it was to get into space?
I think it was a bit more difficult in the first half. It was compact, but it managed to find ways through. And then in the second half, I think, obviously, with the lead, it opens up a bit more and creates more space for us.
But first and foremost, you're a defender, so the thing that will please you most is not the goal tonight. It'll be another clean sheet, I'm guessing.
Yeah, another clean sheet. And when you keep clean sheets, you've got every chance of winning games. So the more we can keep, hopefully the more we can win.
What was the sort of message, off the back of the Cardiff game when you've been fantastic, 7 goals have gone in? What was the message pre-match for this one this evening?
Yeah, just the same approach. We need to approach every game from now on to the end of the season with the same mentality, and that's to go into the game and aim to win.
There appears to be a really good mood and feeling within the group. Would that be correct?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, when things are going well, it's easy to have that feeling. But yeah, I think it's showing on the pitch that we're a good group on and off the pitch. So it's good.
And you and Dan down that side, there's a real relationship building there, isn't there?
Yeah, we've got a good relationship going down that side. And yeah, it's just about trying to put it to work when we step out onto the pitch.
Good goal. Good win. Thank you, Jane. I think it was it a good goal?
Very good goal. Excellent.
Well
done.
It. Well done. Excellent.
Well played. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
There you go. A good goal. I think we're all agreed there for Jaden Bogle. As soon as Daniel Farke is ready to chat to us, we will, of course, bring that to you there. It was interesting talking about Jaden Bogle almost being in his own lane, and it's all right getting into that space, but you've got to have some skill to be able to drive forward in the way that he does and to get into those areas and to cause the kind of havoc he really is causing his opponents as he's playing at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing fantastically well, and as you say, you've got to have a certain skill to get into them. I was never really that good enough to get into them positions.
Stop
but
it.
He's coming, as the lads just touched on there. He's getting stronger every week. The connection, the relationship with him and Dan, and obviously Brendan, and I know Dan spoke about Joe sort of starts it off, and that right side is really, really strong, and he's reaping the rewards of that, and it's fantastic to see, because as I mentioned earlier on in the show as well at the weekend, that he had a bit of a tough start, but he's playing fantastic, and it's great to see.
I think it's the understanding of, I say that, Bogle's almost playing as like a right winger, but it doesn't happen if Dan James stays in his position. He's got to recognise the moment of when Dan comes centrally, so that they leave the space. What we try and say is that you can't be on the same line. So if Dan goes in, you can go high. If Dan's giving you the width, can you tuck inside or give us the balance off? So there's a lot goes into the coaching with the players to get that understanding and freedom to suit the style of play, and you've got to recognise the moment. That's why I think it's fantastic the way the players are playing at the moment in the direction of what's coming from the coaching staff, and they're working at it, because it's shown they're absolutely thriving.
And that was always a hard thing for me if I played fullback with a winger that stayed wide, which Dan, he tends to do a lot more than the Manor on the other side. So it's easier for Junior to get up and around Manor because he cuts inside. So for Jaden to be attacking as much as he does with Dan staying wide is credit to him.
Well, let's take a look at some of the chances in the second half then for Leeds, because let's be honest, there were plenty. There were a lot of opportunities. We might be here a while, but let's take a look at this. Dan James, has been so just in the thrust of everything that Leeds are doing at the moment, and Manor Solomon with some beautiful work here to set him up.
Yeah, it's like Solomon, doing his stuff. The way he broke away from the space there, in the balance that he's got, the low centre of gravity to tee up Dan James, and he sees it once again. He's just about to get under pressure. I think Dan's touch takes him away from goal, and what he's got to do there, he must go back across goal, because there's an image there of Joel Peru and Solomon. If the goalkeeper saves that, you're looking for a tap in there. So I think DJ made the wrong idea, but it was just the way. This is us playing out from the back. If we don't want to play short, then we've got the chance to go long, because this team had such a high line. It's incredible. I mean, Stu was screaming at the TV watching the game, going, just play it over the top, play it down the channels. We recognise it, and yes, they had to get back in the game, but we were so good. And I think we could have taken a leaf out of what Jaden Bogle just said there. He was composed when that ball came back to him from the goalkeeper. We've snatched at a few, and I thought, when this fell to Joel Peru, if there's anybody on the field I want to be with the ball at his feet inside the penalty area, it's him. And that was the type of night it was.
Yeah, it's certainly opportunities. I mean, Ladji Ramazzani came on looking to make that impact as well, and opportunity falling for him. There were some great balls through, weren't there?
Yeah, that's another great ball by Jaden, and
ball of the night,
we were saying, like, they kept playing such a high line, and it was on, and just maybe our decision making at times, and as much credit as we give the front lads on Saturday for a fantastic performance, they were very, very wasteful at times tonight. And here, obviously, we believe the ball is already over the line before Willie touches it. But Junior doesn't look too happy there. But it's a ridiculous decision that they've let us celebrate for 20 seconds and then they've disallowed it.
Four of the lads looked over there to see the linesman. He kept his flag down, and then they've celebrated.
I don't know what has happened, because obviously they've given the goal and then they've disallowed it, and there was a few strange decisions tonight. We should have had a penalty as well. It's a blatant penalty on Brendan, and earlier on in the second half too. So I'm calling for VAR in the Championship. There's too much at stake.
Really, Stu? Yeah.
I am, because it's okay because we've got away with it tonight. But in other games, it's a blatant penalty, and moments like that can change games. And if Coventry go up the other end and score, momentum swings. The crowd gets on top, and you end up dropping points.
I think it's so refreshing having no VAR.
No, it is, but I just think in terms of the Championship, we're trying to get to the Premier League. There's too much money at stake, and to give decisions like that is just ridiculous.
I think one of the reasons that the linesman went late with that, but was thinking about it, is I think our players looked a bit too guilty. It was almost like they were like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have touched that on the line.
The ball was over the line or not.
We've seen a screenshot where it looks like it might be over the line, but then the angles are a bit funny. Listen, the points are in the bag, that's the amazing thing. But the really important thing that happened is that we were saying throughout that whole of that second half, as much as we've been on top, as many opportunities, if Coventry do pull one back here, it's a very different game. And Elland Road tonight made two excellent saves. The first one in particular.
First one's world class. As soon as I saw him, like the flick on towards the bottom corner, I'm thinking goal. And he's actually had to dive back over and scoop the ball off the line. Now, I'm no goalkeeper, but I know how hard that is to do from witnessing being a striker. I haven't seen many goalkeepers being able to do that. And I straight away shouted Gordon Banks-esque. Not that I was around at that time. I know I'm old, but I wasn't around then. But my word, what a save that is. And that kept us in the game. And then he made another one from a corner. So he's had a top night tonight, but that performance was incredible.
Yeah, I think we all thought that header was going in, didn't we? Because it was one of those where it almost looks like it's behind Elland by the time he gets to it. And you were saying about being switched on in the moment, and when that moment comes, being ready to deliver. Well, he certainly did here.
He does, and he does his job really, really well. But again, you see that's an incredible save. That's unbelievable. That's save of the season for me there. Switched on in the big moments. But again, I'll go back to my original point of Brendan and the challenge on him, not getting a penalty. And if that goes in there, it's 2-1. It's game on, and in a game that we were really, really comfortable. But that is incredible there. And
it does so well as well. He scoops it away from goal as well.
He does,
out
yeah.
of the danger.
There's a player coming running.
Sims has simply scored there.
Yeah.
Another opportunity and another big save later on in the game. That's flying towards him, isn't it, Bridgie?
I'm not going to give him as much credit for this one. I mean, it's a good save, but I call these camera saves. It's Adam, he's made the most of it. No, it's absolutely brilliant. I don't like giving goalkeepers too much credit, but you can see that, I mean, he's got such a short reaction time from that header there, which is why it's so good to be able to get his body there and push it, and it looks spectacular. But for me, it's the reaction that it's just a top save.
It's probably been a bit difficult for Elland without me knowing what's going through a player's mind, but he's had a couple of difficult moments this season that have been well spoken about. Sunderland and Hull, we all know about those. But because of the way Leeds have played and how successfully they've been playing, he hasn't actually had that many opportunities to kind of maybe have those moments to make amends or to feel like he's had those big moments in games. Is this potentially the night where he can draw a line underneath it? He's made some good saves recently, but that is a top-class save that he's made tonight.
Yeah, no matter what happens, there'll still be a microscope on him because of the magnitude of the mistakes that he did make. But that certainly tonight shows his quality and how good of a goalkeeper he is. And Daniel Farke will be pleased because he has shown a lot of faith in him, and Elland has repaid him tonight.
I was just about to say the last game here, who was it? I've lost track. Cardiff game. He was doing a yoga session at the other end of the field. He had nothing to do. But the always thing that's fascinated me about goalkeepers, when you're not in a game like that, Stu, like tonight, we've had a lot of chances to keep the concentration level and the focus ready for that moment when you're going to impact a game like he's done tonight. That's not easy to do, because if I was standing at the other end of the field, I would get bored. I would. I mean, you had nothing to do, like just watching a game unfold, you get bored, you want to be involved in the action. That's where I credit goalkeepers so much, and like I say, Elland saves there tonight. To do that when you haven't had much to do, that's special.
We've mentioned a few decades over the last couple of matches. We mentioned 1972 for the Cardiff game, biggest home win since 1972. We mentioned earlier today Joel Piroe and Jaden Bogle both scoring against Coventry home and away since 1999
2000.
and 2000. We mentioned both those. We haven't mentioned the 80s, and this just maybe puts into a bit of context just how difficult it is to do what Leeds have just done. 6 clean sheets in a row for the first time since 1981.
Is that right?
It's 540 minutes worth of football there.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks for all these stats, eh?
Yeah, I really hope I've just done the maths right there. Otherwise, that's going to be really embarrassing.
Because Joe Roden and Ampadu had an unbelievable partnership last season when we had a few clean sheets.
But yeah, I mean, first time since 1981, 15 goals unanswered in that time. In those games, in those 6 games, we've scored 15. We haven't conceded any. 19th clean sheet of the season. I mean, this is some defensive effort that the team are putting in, Stu.
It is, and the manager will be so pleased, and I expect that when he does his interview that he'll mention the defence and the clean sheet, because I know that that's something that he prides himself on, is clean sheet. So he'll be absolutely delighted that they've gone till what potentially could have been a banana skin tonight, and another clean sheet, another big performance. But the foundations are there. We talk about the attacking qualities that they have throughout the team, and how we can hurt teams, but the defence has been brilliant. It's been rock solid, and that obviously that gives you. Jaden mentioned it in his interview as well, is that when you keep clean sheets, it gives you that what should we say?
Confidence.
Security and confidence
security
to go forward,
to go on and go forward.
Because in this team, like if you're keeping clean sheets, you know this team are going to create chances and we're going to score at some point. So like he says, Daniel Farke will be absolutely delighted with that clean sheet.
Yeah, sure he will be. Let's head down to Coventry and get the thoughts of hopefully a very happy manager, Daniel Farke, with Bryn and Tony.
Thanks, Rich. Yes, the manager's with us here. Daniel, that has got to be a pleasing away performance, bar perhaps one little aspect, the scoreline.
Yes, that's right. So it was top performance anyhow. So massive 3 points for us. Top away performance. Next clean sheet, 5th in the row. Defending behaviour, pressing, counter-pressing, everything was there. We were pretty respectful. We know that Coventry was in the first position, the form table in the last 5 games, win after win. They were pretty impressive in the recent weeks, and without a shadow of a doubt today, we deserved to win this game. But the scoreline should be clearer. So I think we have not created so many chances like today in the last game when we won 7-0. Normally, it's not good enough if you, in such a difficult away place against such a good side, you miss so many chances, so many 1-against-1 chances on the goalkeeper. This scoreline should have been much more comfortable. Also, I think should have awarded a penalty against Brendan Aronson. I think it was also not an offside goal. I think disallowed goal was also not right, because Willie was in the moment. Probably he shouldn't touch the ball at all, but even in the moment when Junior is there with the strike, he was behind the defender of them. So pretty annoyed that this game was not. I want to be respectful. A better scoreline, but apart from this, nothing to complain about.
In terms of the way that the side, the intensity levels of the side, there was no dip off from Saturday, was it? It was there again. You must have been pleased with that.
No, we were on it today, really, from the first to the last second. So there, I would say, yes, regarding the opponent and the difficult away place, perhaps even better performance, also tidy on the ball and created so many chances. Like I mentioned, for me, perhaps even more chances than in the last game. And Coventry, of course, till the last second, they tried everything to turn the game. For Cardiff, it was more difficult after 4-0, 5-0 down. Then you give up a little bit. Not Coventry today. For that, it was more impressive also to stay on it, to create so many chances. But one thing is for sure, we have to be more clinical. Can't be that wasteful, because there will be games when you can't create that many chances, and then you have to use your chances. So well done to all our offensive players in the last games, but we have to be more clinical in order to score the goals.
I think it was a complete performance, wasn't it? And I think the group as well, to me, they're now looking mentally stronger as the season progresses.
Yes, we're working on this. We know that we have also many young players, and we have to work on this consistency also in terms of mentality, and always to be switched on. Even today, there were scenes in the first half, even the second half, where I would say, come on, we can handle it even a bit more mature and more on it and more in detail. Was pretty annoyed with the yellow card in the first half. So all a bit unnecessary, because it can be decisive in the end. So and although I'm pretty pleased with our development over the course of the season, how they develop personality, how we develop in our approach, how we play, everything is great. But there are still areas and several areas where we can work on, and for that we won't stop. I want also a perfect game. I know that I probably won't achieve it at any point, but we're trying to do so, and for that we keep going.
I know I can say it, but I think you should have been 3 or 4 up in the first half, and just about the same again in the second half. But 2-0 clean sheet. It's 9 goals in 2 games. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's difficult to complain about anything again. So we speak about a few details, what we could have done better, and then it's definitely one fact. Although it's 2-0, 90th minute, and we have to be on it in order to be concentrated, focused, to bring the ball over the line. We know we are the best sides in scoring goals and expected goals, but we could have scored even more. And this is something, again, I spoke about this. I want us to be relentless and greedy to score goals, and for that, this is also definitely something what I will address, because today, thank God, Elland was there with the top performance today with 2 great saves. Otherwise, the game could have been tight in the end. So. Although this was a game where you normally should score more goals. At least.
Let's go with that.
Last one. Do you regard Saturday's game at the weekend as a break, or is that one where you want to keep everything going?
Not a break, of course. We won't risk anything, and we will rotate perhaps even a bit more than we would normally do also in the league game, but just in order to make sure that we have fresh legs on the pitch, because the schedule is crazy at the moment, and then Tuesday also another difficult away game, so we have to rotate even a bit more. Normally I don't think that more than 3 or 4 changes from game to game are healthy for a group and stay in the rhythm. But for this game, it could be that we use it even a bit more. But nevertheless, we want to be there with a good performance, want to keep it going, and want to make sure that we give our supporters at home something to cheer about. And yes, of course, the priority is perhaps not to win the FA Cup, but who knows? When we have a chance, and we go for it, and for that, we also want to win the next game.
Yeah, let's go for it. Go on, enjoy that. Thanks, Daniel. Excellent stuff. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Daniel. Excellent. Good stuff.
And there you go, Daniel Farke post-match tonight. Just looking forward to that game. We'll discuss that in a moment. Stuart Dallas was having a bit of a complaint. He wants VAR. Do you want to see this again then, the penalty
I don't need to see it again.
incident?
It's a stonewall penalty.
We're going to show it anyway. You talk us through this, because we're all quite happy with the 3 points, but you're fuming about this. It should have been a penalty, Stu.
I am fuming because of the save that Elland has to pull off after it, which can potentially change the game. But you see here, DJ, there's nobody catching him. And when it comes to Brenton here, he just comes through the back of him. It gets worse every time you watch it.
Penalty, man?
But the referee's got the perfect angle. There's no excuse for him not to give that as a penalty. I don't know what he's seeing,
that in the
what
street
he's
to somebody,
thinking.
it's GBH.
It's ridiculous.
It's
just about to hit, and he just barges
It
him.
might be a stupid question, but what do you think the referee has seen here? Is it just...
I think he honestly thinks from the angle that he's seen, it almost looks like the Coventry players played the ball because it comes off Brendan's left foot as he's TD, because his first touch is lovely. As we know, that's in front of him, Stuart, to get the shot off. And he's just been absolutely clear.
He obviously thinks that the Coventry players won the ball because he's not given the penalty for just because it's Leeds. But it's a ridiculous decision.
Yeah.
It's
Didn't need VAR for that one because that's a blatant penalty.
There's no excuse for it.
Well, there you go. On to happier things. Leeds have a 5-point cushion at the top of the Sky Bet Championship, despite not getting that penalty tonight. As you can see there, Burnley 5 points behind, played the same amount of games. And then those teams that are coming up after that Watford game. Watford next week, by the way, is available outside the UK and Ireland worldwide. So, make sure you're getting your pass to watch that here on Matchday live on LUTV. But then those two massive games, Sheffield United, Sunderland at home and then Sheffield United away to come. It's a really big month, but there is that break, and behind us, Elland Road will be hosting that FA Cup fourth round match against Millwall coming up at the weekend. Daniel Farke there saying, normally maybe 3-4 changes, anything more is a bit unhealthy to unbalance a squad, but he kind of hinted there that there might be more changes this weekend, Bridgie.
I expect that. I mean, it's the paramount to get promoted back to the Premier League. That's where the money is. That's where the revenue is. And want to strengthen the squad for next season. You want to strengthen. Obviously, they've got the talk about the ground and things. So we need Premier League. But like you say, the FA Cup comes around. Everybody loves an FA Cup run. Things that you dream of as a kid to go play at Wembley and do the FA Cup. In the Millwall game, I was looking at the stats. 15 games, I think, in history at home at Elland Road. We've won 11 times out of that. So bring it on.
All right. Okay. Confidence. I like it. Okay, good stuff. Bridgie, thank you. Stuart Dallas with us in the studio. 3 points at Cov, all good. Now it's all eyes on the Cup. We will see you at the weekend. Enjoy the rest of your night.